everyone, happy Wednesday to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Melissa Frey here in the Alaska's Weather Source Weather Center. And if you're in South Central, you probably already know we have a storm that's pushing in here across South Central. We're already seeing some of the impacts from that, but there's still a lot more coming as well. So I want to get you up to speed, what we've already seen and what we're going to see here over the next 6 to 12 hours. Now let me know if you're on Facebook, where are you watching from? What are the conditions like where you are? Hop in the chat. I'll continue to try and monitor that here, and we'll get you through the forecast and let you know what to expect. I want to start with those conditions up at Mount Baldy in the Eagle River area. You can see those trees bouncing around a little bit in the wind. Now, if you are in, say, Midtown Anchorage, downtown Anchorage, even the lower elevations of parts of Eagle River, you're probably going, man, I'm not seeing much storm where I am. Well, this really depends on where you are, and you'll see that when I show you those impacts that we're already seeing. Here's those weather headlines. Again, we're watching the storm approaching from the southwest, where it's already been packing a pretty significant punch through the Aleutians. We're talking up to 20 inches of snow. We've heard from folks in Alaska who tell us that the snow is piled up everywhere. Also seeing extremely poor visibility with those wind gusts to 65 miles per hour. And then we're seeing those stormy conditions here across the Anchorage hillside, where we've already seen gusts to 90 miles per hour. And then on top of the wind, we're just looking at very wet conditions for the coastal areas of South Central. Hello to you, Jamie in Wasilla. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. Let me know, what is it like in Wasilla? That's one of the calmer spots, at least so far. Here's a look at those peak wind gusts. Again, 37 miles per hour in Wasilla, between about 40 and 50 for Homer and Kenai. But I want to zero in on these winds here across the Anchorage Bowl. Again, it's the Anchorage upper hillside where we do have that warning in effect, where we are seeing those wind gusts already to more than 90 miles per hour. That's in the Bear Valley area. Also to more than 70 miles per hour as you head up to Glen Alps. 58, that's at Prominence Point. 41 just off of DeArmond on Clark's Road, and then 42 on Hillside Drive. We've also seen wind gusts to 58 miles per hour right on the Glen Highway at the S-curves, and to near 56 miles per hour up at Rendezvous Peak. But even out on Muldoon, peak gusts so far up to 48 miles per hour. And again, we still haven't really seen these winds reaching here across the Anchorage Bowl this afternoon. We are seeing, again, those strong winds as you head out into the southwest corner of the state, gusts to 60 miles per hour in King Salmon. It has improved today in Unalaska, 55 miles per hour, not as extreme as what you were experiencing there yesterday, but you can see those winds also being funneled through the interior. Delta Junction seeing gusts to 69 miles per hour and up to 41 there in Kodiak. Hello to you, Jeanette, there in Butte, gusty and wet. I see some of you chiming in from out of state, checking in here on our Alaska weather, always seeing something going on in the state of Alaska. So this is the storm that is responsible for all of this wet and windy weather. This area of low pressure now pushing up into the Bristol Bay region. If you were watching our weather forecast this morning or last night, you know this has come a long way. Just last night it was centered west of Unalaska, so it is moving through here pretty quickly. But you can see the list of warnings and advisories in place because of it. Through the Aleutians, we do still have that winter storm warning in effect for the eastern Aleutians. Again, we're talking up to 20 inches of snow and gusts to 65 miles per hour. That will continue for you through early tomorrow morning. And then further north, still seeing winter weather advisories in effect near the Kuskokwim Delta, and then blizzard warnings in effect for the Yukon Delta and for the Arctic slope. And this is mainly because of the winds. These areas will see a little snow with this storm, but the bigger impacts there will actually be from blowing snow, again, from the high winds in the area. So travel is going to be difficult in those areas. They're highlighted in red. High wind warnings still in effect for the Alaska Range passes near Denali, out to Delta Junction, and then of course right here in Anchorage as well. We've already seen trash cans blowing about on the hillside and just debris moving as well. Fortunately, not too many power outages in Anchorage yet. That could certainly change as these winds continue to stay strong through the afternoon, through the evening, into those early overnight hours. But again, you want to be prepared for those wind gusts continuing on the Anchorage hillside to 90 miles per hour. and then between 50 and 70 miles per hour here on the south end of Anchorage in the lower elevations. Hearing from you, looks like Lindy in Big Lake seeing heavy rain. Yes, this storm definitely has a lot of moisture associated with it. In Wales, yeah, gusts to 40 miles per hour, blowing snow for you. That is why we do have those blizzard warnings in effect. South Anchorage, just some sprinkles at this point. Looking at your comment here, Heather Wilson, Bear Valley, 104 miles per hour. That doesn't surprise me with those winds already coming up clocking in at our official stations at more than 90 miles per hour. Just starting to rain off of Church and pretty windy conditions there. Yeah, I believe it. So we are again going to continue to see those strong winds mainly impacting the south and east sides of Anchorage. So what I've done here is I've highlighted in orange everything that I'm expecting to see wind gusts between 25 and 50 miles per hour. So that's windy, but not necessarily a damaging wind. But everything highlighted in red, that is where I'm expecting those wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, again, which we're already seeing on the south side of town. That's going to continue through the rest of the evening, even into early tomorrow morning. So if you're in those areas highlighted in red, that's pretty much south of Diamond as you head east of the highway out even on Muldoon. Those S curves on the Glen Highway tonight for the evening commute will also likely contain some strong winds. We could briefly late tonight around 9 o'clock see some peak gusts between 50 and 70 miles per hour, even out at the airport and briefly on the northeast side of town, including in parts of J-Bear and Eagle River. So again, I don't expect the most extreme winds for you in those northeast locations to see that wind until late tonight. And you notice it's still cooking along pretty good at that point on the south side of town as well. So a long duration event for the Rabbit Creek neighborhoods, for the Bear Valley neighborhoods, but again, seeing those more extreme peaks later this evening for those of you on the northeast sides of town. Then overnight, we're still seeing breezy winds, but it does taper off pretty quickly, and by Thursday morning we will be back to calmer conditions. And this shows you sort of a timeline of those winds out at Ted Stevens, where again most of the city not seeing those extreme conditions, but around 8 o'clock tonight, 8 to 10 p.m. is when I would be prepared for those wind gusts to more than 50 miles per hour, even out at Ted Stevens and again on the northeast sides of town as well. So be prepared for that still coming. I've already received lots of calls from you in the newsroom asking me, wait, is the storm here? What's going on? Yes, it's still coming. If you haven't seen it yet, more is on the way. Now, one thing we haven't talked about much is the moisture with this storm. So what happens when we get wind like this, it actually kind of dries us out, which is what's happening in Anchorage. We're getting a few showers here, but when you're north of this wind field, like we're seeing in Big Lake and like we're seeing on the Kenai Peninsula, that's where you're seeing those very wet conditions. So showers will continue for Anchorage, but heavier rain will be north and south of Anchorage. And then as we head into Thursday, those winds will quiet down, but I do expect those showers to continue across the region. It's warm though. We're talking mid 40s. So mostly seeing just rain showers in the overnight hours, early Thursday, and then again early Friday. Slight chance we could see a transition to snow, but I'm not expecting much in Anchorage or places like Kenai, Soldotna, as you head closer to those higher elevations and places like Turnagain Pass. That's where you could see a little bit more sticking snow. But in terms of the amount of moisture that's pushing here across South Central, it's a lot. And this is extremely rare for the month of April. April is on average our driest month of the year, but we've already seen well over our average precipitation for the month of April. So another 2/10 is what I'm expecting here in Anchorage through mid-morning tomorrow. You can see Kenai significantly more than that, but Seward into Portage Valley into Whittier, that's where we will see the most extreme conditions. Again, an additional 2 to 4 inches of rain on top of what we have already seen. So do be ready for that coming, and for those coastal areas, we're talking really Seward into Whittier, that is going to stick with you all the way through the day on Friday as well. So at that point, we're looking at more than 5 inches of rain in Whittier. So do be prepared for that. Love for you to continue to send us your updates, your photos, your reports. If you don't already have the Alaska's Weather Source app, I would encourage you to download it. It is a free download. And right on the app, you can send us your pictures directly. You can send us notes there as well and just let us know what the conditions are like. But hopefully even more useful to you is you can get those hourly forecasts, daily forecasts, any warnings issued for your specific area. And then you can also get our continued updated forecast. So even in between news times, we are sending that information to the app pretty much 24/7. So if you don't have the app, it's a good one to download and helpful for you to send us those pictures, which are super helpful for us as well, explaining the conditions. Now I do want to show you again what it's looking like up there in Mount Baldy. This is one of the areas that's starting to see some breezy winds, starting to see some of those showers, but not seeing the extreme conditions like we are seeing up at Glen Alps. Hearing from you, Stephanie, there in Wasilla, super windy and gusty. Looks like started raining about 30 minutes ago. Yeah, in Wasilla, we've seen wind gusts over 30 miles per hour, but in Palmer, even higher than that. Windy out at Nunivak Island. Yes, you've had a winter weather advisory because of the wind and the snow combined. Hello to you, Jennifer, chiming in from Bristol Bay. Good to hear from you. Yeah, seeing the wind. I'm curious if you're seeing a snow rain mix on top of that wind there in Bristol Bay. Those of you in the southwest corner of the state, from Bristol Bay all the way into Alaska, you are sitting right at the center of this storm. Again, that's where we're continuing to see the highest winds and also still seeing the wettest conditions. But as that moves east, we'll see more of that continuing to push here into South Central as well. So again, I'll pull this up again so you can see at the center of that storm just pushing into Bristol Bay, but it's a front that is extending into South Central, and the front edge of that front is actually just beginning to move into Homer and Seward. So this storm is going to stick with us. Again, the next, I would say 6 to 12 hours is when we will see the most significant impacts. Amy chiming in from Chugiak, just rain, no wind. Yeah, it's a little south of you where we're seeing those strong winds. Again, well over 50 miles per hour up the S curves on the Glen Highway, but as soon as you get north of there, you're protected by the mountains, so that's helping to give calmer conditions in that location. And I'll try and zoom in here again just so you can see those impacts across the South Central region, again, where we're still seeing those highest winds. Again, really those areas that you see highlighted here in red is where it will be the most extreme. But again, that'll push up into Eagle River and even portions of the northeast side of the town, which is where we had those real extreme winds just earlier this year. So be prepared. Again, if you have loose objects out there, tie them down, be ready for those strong winds through the evening into those overnight hours, and then we'll start to see improving conditions pretty quickly. Long before the morning commute tomorrow, we'll already see improving conditions there. So Jennifer saying it's just gray and windy, but expecting the rain to still come. Yeah, we have those showers certainly in the area of Bristol Bay. So thank you again all for letting us know where you're watching from, letting us know what the conditions are like in your area. Hopefully you do stay safe. We've heard already several hundred people near Ninilchik with the Homer Electric Association are without power from the high winds in that area. Again, not seeing any widespread power outages yet in Anchorage or in the Matsu, but I still expect that to be a strong potential as we head into the second half of the day, just because of the power of these winds and for the long duration, especially for that Anchorage upper hillside. So stay safe out there tonight. We will see you right back here again on Channel 2, on Channel 5, on Alaska's news source for the latest forecast live starting again at 4 p.m. We'll see you then.